Well, hello everybody. This is Don from Wizard Tower Games, and I want to talk real quick about Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, and I think people are getting it all wrong about their situation. I don't think Hasbro's in financial trouble like people say they are, and I'm going to tell you why. Think about this. Now, we all know that Hasbro has done several things in the last 12 to 18 months that have not been what one would call PR wins. The whole OGL thing and such. We know now that we see that their stock has dropped, which I don't think matters. And I'll tell you the reason why again, also something on that. Also, with the advent of seeing a lot of some of Hasbro's products in bargain retailers like Ollie's and such, where they're literally selling games and game products for pennies on the dollar, a lot of people that are vloggers out there have said this is the death throes. This is obvious they're in severe trouble. I think quite the opposite. I think they're doing great. And I tell you what I think they're doing. I think they're doing this on purpose. I think the layoffs are not because they're doing poorly financially. I think the layoffs is because they're doing great financially. Now, I know what I'm saying doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but bear with me. Now, for those of you out there who have done graphic design work, as an example, we all have experienced who do graphic design in dealing with companies like Microsoft and Adobe, that there's a big push for subscription-based material. Adobe is famous for the pricing of their software, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. All these programs cost thousands of dollars if you're going to buy them in bulk, in groups and such. But now it's real easy. You don't have to do that. For $23.95 a month, you can get the current version of Photoshop, and it'll always be updated because you're on subscription. So places like Adobe and Microsoft have all discovered this subscription-based way of doing marketing. Now, yes, you're not making that big money up front, but you're making more money at the end of the day because of a couple different things. Number one, by and large, a lot of people sign up for subscriptions and they forget about them. Even if they don't use the product, they forget about them. And they don't pay close enough attention to their bank account to see that $14.95 or $9.95 or $21.95 a month being deducted from their account, because it's easy to lose track. And I think what is happening here is this. I think Wizards of the Coast has discovered this. And I think what this is all happening here is I think they're prepping. They're prepping to go virtual. I think they're getting rid of the personnel that they don't need. Because when you go to a subscription-based virtual model for a majority of your product, you don't need a lot of the back-end personnel that keep the gears greased. You can get rid of them, and I think that's exactly what they're doing. I think what Wizards of the Coast is doing, in fact, is they're going to utilize more and more a virtual tabletop subscription-based service where pretty much you pay a monthly fee and you get it on your computer. Yes, I don't think they're going to get rid of print, and I don't think they're going to get rid of books and things like that. But I think those are going to be more and more put to the wayside. Those are going to be more and more less marketed and used. And Hasbro / Wizards of the Coast is going to, in fact, go with a online model where if you want to go ahead and you want to buy the book, you can get the book via PDF. And you can go ahead and utilize that book if you want on their virtual tabletop. And also things like, why put out a big book and go through all the cost of development on a new book of classes, as an example, when instead you can just make the content and via your virtual tabletop or via a subscription-based service, you can say, oh, you want that new cleric? You want that new ogre goblin mix race? Then for $4.99, you can buy that specific class or that race. Oh, you want to go ahead and you want to buy a spell pack? You can buy a spell pack as an example. PDF has 50 new cleric spells, 50 new whatever spells for $4.99. And what ends up happening is before you know it, you're getting a tenth of the product for the same price as if you bought a book. But what's convenient about it is you can just go ahead and you can buy a spell pack, or you can buy a specific race or a class. You can cater and be very specific in what you're wanting to buy. So instead of having to buy the entire player's handbook with all these classes and races, which I'm not going to use, instead, I can cherry pick what I want and make a very catered experience, if you will. Wizards of the Coast will supply me. That's what I think they're doing. So I think all this dramatic talk online by a lot of vloggers saying it's game over, they rolled a 1, oh my God, they're shutting down, this bodes horribly. I think quite the opposite. I think Wizards of the Coast is doing great. I think that they're doing something that is very well thought out, very well planned. And I think it's pretty cunning, if you ask me. And I think it's actually, on a business model, it's actually pretty smart to do. So that was me, my thinking, throwing something different out there. Would love to hear the post, comments and opinions on it. So please hit also a like and subscribe, if at least a very minimal. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Please help it grow. This is Don from Wizard Tower Games signing out. But think about that. I think they're actually doing quite well, and I think they're doing something that is very, very cunningly planned, and they're executing it.